in desperate need of coffee, or else I'm just gonna like lay down and fall back asleep. It's really hard to do this with this silicone straw. This morning I'm gonna make some breakfast. Sometimes I just feel really inspired to become a chef, and today's one of those days. I'm gonna make something I call egg in a basket with like ham and cheese and tomato on top. That's not, Egg in a basket with a beautiful blanket of ham, cheese, and tomato. What you're gonna need to make this recipe, you need 1 piece of bread, some ham, sliced Swiss, a Roma tomato, 1 egg. I also like to use garlic salt on this. I think it makes the tomato just taste really, really good. I haven't made this in a while, so it's all wish me luck. First thing, I'm just gonna take like kind of a medium sized glass and cut a hole in my bread. This is where the egg is gonna go. Don't worry, we're gonna eat the center. We're not just wasting a good piece of bread. I'm just gonna tear it out. I think the key to most cooking, you really just wanna be low and slow. Cook low and slow, and your stuff won't burn, and it'll taste so good. It's my one cooking tip. I love butter, like a gross amount, so I'm really sorry this recipe might not be for you. Now I'm gonna add in my piece of bread. Something that's really important in this recipe, I say that like this is a really big official recipe that I have invented. It is not. But something that's important that I didn't know when I first started making this is that you really have to let the bread kind of firm up on the outside, because if you don't, the egg will just like run out of the bread. So you have to definitely make sure that the bread is toasted and is nice and firm before you go ahead and drop your egg in. Coffee break. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this tomato up. Okay, I have 2 slices of my tomato. It's getting nice and toasty. We can go ahead and drop the egg in. Do you see how perfect that egg went in? For the tomato, I'm gonna go ahead and put some garlic salt and some cracked pepper on top. I actually learned this recipe from someone when I was in Hawaii, and I really liked it. It's so basic. I don't even think you could call it a recipe. That's how basic it is. But it's just, it makes me feel so put together when I make this. I feel like I really know what I'm doing in my life when I do this. Which is actually funny because I don't. Tomatoes, I don't know how fast they cook. I just kind of flip them when it feels right, when my heart tells me I should. And I'm feeling it that right now. And can you over season them? Probably. Even if it's bad, I'll still eat it. Look at that. Okay, this is smelling really, really, really good. Look at me, I'm all over the place. This is a very accurate representation of what it's like to actually cook with me in the kitchen. Okay, add the cheese on top of your bread. Add a couple of thin slices of ham. Gorgeous. Okay, now take that and flip it using your super awesome skills. And then I'm also gonna just kind of put a dollop of butter on this piece of bread and kind of, oh god, did you guys see that dollop? That was kind of funny. Just kind of get that all nice and crisp too. We're gonna plate it, and then, yeah, that's all we have to do, guys. And then comes the big reveal. Okay, there it is. We got bread, egg in the middle, a little bit cheesy, some delicious ham, cooked tomato, topped with a little bread hat. So cute. Okay, I'm feeling super proud of myself here. Look at this. Oh god, that would have been really bad. Okay, we're gonna see how good it actually is when I put it into my belly. It has a lot of butter, so that's a strong start for me, personally. I'm a big butter lady. Let's see. Alright. Okay. I'm eating this. I can do anything today. There's actually another thing I should probably figure out is like, what the heck am I gonna do today? This almost never happens, but my boyfriend is out of town this weekend, so I have the whole place to myself. And I also am like not studying for an exam, so I have just so much free time. I thought about going to Livermore because that's kind of fun. Overdid it a little on the garlic salt, but okay, I'm gonna hop off for now. I still have not figured out what I'm gonna do today, so I think I'm just gonna read my book for a little bit longer. I really want to be free of this book, if that makes sense, before I go out and do something and potentially think about starting a new book. I'm just not loving it, and it's so disappointing. Like, I just don't care about the plot, so that's kind of a big problem. I guess the story is kind of interesting, it's just nothing has happened, really. Nothing. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish this book, and then I'm gonna figure out what I want to do for the rest of my day. This really doesn't look like I'm about to have a nice summer day, so I think I'm gonna have to change it up. I finally went all the way to Livermore. It's only like a 15-minute drive, so it's really not that big of a deal. But when I got there was a ginormous fair happening. It took me like 20 minutes to find parking, and I was so thirsty because it's like 90 degrees. I really need something to drink. I literally left. I'm done. I tried this experience and I'm over it. So anyways, I drove another 20 minutes all the way to Pleasanton, which is so far, what I could see, much less crowded. Had no trouble at all getting parking, and that's the kind of energy I'm looking for. I want to get like a ginormous soda, and I just want to drink my soda, read my book, maybe have a little snack. That's all. Talk to you later. Little life update. I just got done reading for the past couple hours. It was so good. I just picked up a copy of the Atlas 6. I've just been reading this for the last hour or so. I refreshed myself. I got my soda. I even got gelato, and they had this really good flavor that was toasted almond with caramelized fig. And I recently realized that I actually really love figs. So I was super excited to try that flavor. It was actually really good, so I would recommend. This has turned out to be really good. I know, like, when I went to Livermore, it was so hot and sweaty, and I was just cranky, and coming to Pleasanton was so much better. It was so quiet and peaceful, and I found a table that I could just sit at, not at a restaurant, and I could just drink my Diet Coke and read my book for as long as I pleased. I could sit there with my camera. It was a good time. I just got back from Whole Foods and took Zoe on a walk, and now we're just eating some dinner. You eating some dinner? She's been so scared of the camera all day, which is really kind of funny. She probably thinks I'm crazy because no one's in the house and I'm just talking so much like there might be somebody in the house. I actually was feeling a little too lazy to make some dinner. I really wanted to cook something fresh, but it's just not happening. So I went ahead and made a charcuterie board, and I'm gonna sit out on my patio and I'm gonna eat cheese and keep reading my book because it's getting so good, and I just want to keep going. So yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your night.